has been charged, Mrs. Oren, that students in your classes are getting un-American ideas, and that you are responsible. Do you recognize this as the notebook of one of your students?
Yes, it is Helen's notebook.
Do these notes represent what goes on in your classes?
Helen's a good student. Yes, this represents what goes on in my classes.
So you do teach communism?
Mrs. Oren, will you explain?
Well, I teach about communism. I'd rather say that we study about it. I feel an obligation to help my students find out everything which affects their lives. And I think you will all agree that communism has affected each and every one of us. If we don't understand all the facts about communism, how can we know how to fight it?
You do teach communism, then?
Of course I teach about communism. I'm not afraid of the word. And I think you will all agree that it is one of the most disturbing influences in the world today.
In April 1940, the New York State Legislature established a new committee to investigate the so-called Reducators that were suspected of infiltrating the state's public school systems. The Rapp-Kuder Committee, modeled after the Dyes Committee, quickly set its sights on the city university system, and a wave of subpoenas rocked higher education. New York was just one of 4 states that established what were dubbed Little Dyes Committees, and 21 states passed laws requiring educators to take loyalty oaths designed to rid the system of communists. In the oath, educators had to swear that they had no membership in or allegiance to organizations that wanted to undermine or overthrow the United States government. From the American Jewish Historical Society, this is The Wreckage, American Subversives. I'm your host, Rebecca Naomi Jones. Welcome to the loyalty test of the professors. Our story begins with a series of closed-door hearings aimed at purging the New York City public university system of red influence.
So they had a lawyer named Moskoff who became the inquisitor, and people were called in one by one to be asked, are you now or have you ever been a member? And I explained before how they decided which people to call. If you were on 2 lists of what they called subversive activity, like signing a nominating petition for a communist candidate or an American Labor Party candidate, or being a member of the IWO or the Teachers Union, then you were called for. And I was called for question.
Joining us is Gemma R. Birnbaum, Executive Director of the American Jewish Historical Society.
It's really interesting to think about the paranoia in schools because it comes from a couple of different places. So the first is that a lot of these school systems, and especially at the higher education level, is really at this point in time what we're talking about, they're unionized. A lot of what the House Un-American Activities Committee is doing is going after industries with strong labor and strong labor unions. They are much more likely to have suspected or confirmed members of the Communist Party among their ranks. Unions are by and large, not always, but by and large leftist. And so there's this idea that these labor unions are tainted by communist infiltration. The other part of the paranoia is indoctrination, and this idea that professors have this power over students. And so they are indoctrinating students into their Communist Party web because they have access to them and because they have a rapt audience and because there is this power dynamic.
With World War II...